Hello, everybody. We're going to do a market recap and we're going to see what's coming up this week. So, first of all, we're going to look at the diamonds, the Dow Jones. We're going to look at the SPY on a daily graph. And we're going to look at the Qs, which have been running away like a freight train. And it's taken off today, 358. We are breaking resistance at 357.50. Look at that. Take it off. Looks like a missile, right? It's just this AI craze is just everywhere. So let's see. We spoke about for weeks about how the Qs were, the first ones to go. And they did. They really, really took off. And the next area, okay, because we got to figure out where it's going, right? So we're always talking about where it's going. So I put up over here was 347.50. I remember was last resistance area, right? Let's do this together. We're going to put a new resistance area. I believe we could go all the way up to 363, right about here. Let's see. The open over here was 362.71. So that's what I'm looking at, 362.71 more or less. Okay, that's the first one. Next resistance, and the one on top of that would be the highs and lows around here, 369. So that's where I think the Qs are headed, believe it or not. All depends on what's going to happen tomorrow with the Fed. That's for sure. SPY. I've been talking about the fact that the SPY are in this resistance area. Everyone's saying bull market. All these analysts saying bull market started as long as we close above a 4,300 area, because we see Friday we closed below the 4,300 area. So it looks like today we might close over the 4,300. The Dow Jones was the lagger, was the one that really moved up the least, So if the overall market is going to participate in this, there are three things I would look at. I would look at the Russell, IWM I've been talking about, IJH, and IJR, which are all the market, the S&P mid cap and the S&P small cap. So those are the ETFs to look at if you believe that the overall market is going to take play and also go up with the rest, with the Qs and with the SPY and the diamonds. Now the diamonds, the resistance has stayed the same, 343.30. That's kind of the area I'm looking at more or less. And then we could go all the way up to the high that we had here around 349, 850, 349. So keep an eye on that. All right, what are we talking about today? Let's see. I got some notes here. All right, first of all, we said about the new bull market, the S&P is over 4,300, right? And we have a couple of notes to take. So CPI is coming tomorrow, right? We got the CPI and we got the Fed meeting tomorrow also, right? We got the Fed meeting and the CPI. So we got to keep an eye on those. The data is, we're hoping to see that inflation is coming down. How that's happening, the consumer is really strong and employment's really strong. So I just don't know. Personally, I don't think they're going to cut rates, but the market does. The market thinks they're going to cut rate. Who am I? I'm just, just a tiny little piece of the puzzle. All right. So oil and energy, they don't look good. So I'm staying away from that sector. Oracle. Oracle's got earnings. Damn, Oracle. So let's look at Oracle for a second. All right. Let's look at Oracle. Let's do that. Here we go. Number 2. Oracle, ORC. L. ORCL. Oracle, here we come. So Oracle took off. I mean, this thing announced 17, I think it was 17% better sales growth. And now it's just momentum. It's just a momentum play now. Are they going to continue and do what Tesla, NVIDIA did? I highly doubt it. But, you got to keep an eye on this name. It just completely gapped here. Look at it on a weekly graph. It just looks even crazier. Look at that. Wow, 82 to 116. So it's got earnings tonight. completely blew out last week in resistance, and it's a new high for Oracle. So we're going to keep an eye on Oracle. We're going to see what happens there. So remember, like we said, it's all about momentum, right? Who else has momentum? Tesla has momentum. Whew. Tesla's 12 days in a row. 12 days in a row. I remember I showed a day trade, right? So here we go. Here's Tesla, right? Look at this. It's on a weekly graph. This is the next resistance area. 257.50. All right. So I could see it going to 257.50, but it's so stretched out. You got to really be careful if you're going to trade this thing overnight. But it's got momentum. This whole play that GM and Ford signed with them, and they're going to be, providing with these charging stations to other companies, and they're going to open it up to help the EV market. That's a huge play. I mean, they're becoming somehow a real player in the software niches and in providing services. So everyone's saying this is still a value play, and let's see where this goes. IPOs. All right. So IPOs have been completely off. Nobody came to the market. Everybody was postponing everything. And right now there's talk that IPOs are coming back. So Kava is going to go public on Friday. So we're going to keep in that. And then we got ARM, we got Stripe, we got Reddit. Now, Kava raised the range. It's going to be priced higher than we thought. So if Kava is going to be doing good, then the following IPOs, that should be a catalyst for other IPOs that are going to follow. Okay. I want to show you a Microsoft chart. Look at this chart for a second. See, this is a 60-minute chart. Microsoft was in a range, right? And then see that? It was in a range, and it kind of just decided to stay in the middle and upper end of the range. See this? It was a big range, right? And now we are in the upper part of the range, and it doesn't even want to come back down. Interesting. So keep an eye. For me, that's an indication of strength. I would keep an eye out on that. Okay, let's look at a daily graph, see what it looks like. Here we are, 323 is support, 322 area, right around here, 322.60. So we could go higher. I would actually, I took like an option on it, but I started hating options lately. They're just not paying off. They're not paying off. Next up, all right, so CCL, Carnival Cruises. Carnival Cruise got upgraded a lot today by a bunch of houses. And I've been looking at it in the last couple of weeks, trading it, and so on. This is a daily graph. I was trading it here and then kept a little bit, and it just took off. And today it even took off even more. The leisure now, the leisure is in play. Everything that has to do with travel is in play, and leisure is in play. So I would keep an eye, but I don't like to buy these stocks for the long term because they have to raise money. They borrowed so much money during Corona, but for momentum trades, this is great. I just don't think it's worth it for me to hold this for long term. Okay. NDAQ, the NASDAQ. There was some news today on the NASDAQ. I forgot what software company they bought, but they bought a huge software company. I looked at it, actually see what products they were selling. Okay. So NDAQ, this is what we're looking at. I mean, the stock is completely blew its range, and it's now in the bottom end of its range, 51.30. If it stays below $51, it's going to be a problem for the stock. Otherwise, and it's going to go down to like 47 area and so on. So keep an eye on this. I think it's a strong stock. But obviously this was bad news. The market did not like the acquisition today. So I'm definitely keeping an eye on this. This is something to look out for. There could be a good trade over here. ABVV might have bottomed. So, let's keep an eye on ABVV. All right. Let's see. ABVV. There we are. Let's see what's going on here with this ABVV. What? What's going on? Sorry, ABBV. ABBV, here we go. All right, so that's a weekly graph. And we're going to go to a daily graph so you can see this. I'm all over the place today, huh? All right. So you can see this on a weekly graph, okay? Support 134. And we had this capitulation candle on a weekly graph, on a daily graph also, right? So as long as that doesn't get broken, that 131 area, this could be a good play for ABVV, okay? Let's check it out. So you get some market cap, $242 billion for the company. And PE is a 1257. So this could be a good play. Okay, keep an eye on this. It's a decent company. Okay, I would keep an eye on that as a long. What else we got? I think I got one more. DE, complete momentum trades. DE just doesn't want to stop. Let's see if this thing is going to reach 400. Market cap 111 billion. Okay, so these serious companies. So D also kind of bottomed over here at 347. Ever since it's been going up and up and up. I would keep an eye out on this, okay? Although I do see, just by looking at it, that on a weekly graph, we are in some sort of resistance area, okay? So be careful here. But if there are pull-ins, I would be looking at this. What else did we got? And Broadcom, AVGO. I spoke about it last week. I thought the valuation for the stock was low compared to the semiconductor index, AVGO, okay? And Broadcom, there you go, 810 to 852 on a daily graph. Look at this thing, all right? We spoke about this. This is there was a complete, what we call bull flag over here, and it just took off, okay? There was some sort of bull flag here, whether you like it or not, on a daily graph, and it took off, and it took off, and it's going rocket. So I spoke about this stock last week, and there you go. Big time winner. All right, so that's like 30 points you guys owe me. So that will be all for today. I had a good time. That's a market cap. We're going to meet up later in the week. Let's see what happens with the Fed. What are they going to do? Let's just say this. The market expects the Fed not to raise rates. I wonder what's going to happen if the Fed does raise rates. Will the market come in or not? Obviously, I believe it's going to come in automatically, on a daily graph, on an intraday basis, but I don't even know if that has enough legs. All right, let's see what happens. Have a great day, everyone. Cheers.